Welcome back in this episode on our Ansible series. We are diving into the world of Ad Hoc Commands, one of the Ansible's most powerful tools for quick one-time tasks. Ad Hoc Commands in Ansible allow you to execute tasks on remote systems without needing to rewriting playbook. Think of them as you go to solution for those quick fixes or tests across multiple machines. For example, let's say you want to check the disk usage on several servers. Instead of logging into each server one by one, you can use a single Ad Hoc command to do this efficiently. Ansible all-m shell-a df-h. Here, Ansible all specifies all the servers in your inventory. The -m flag tells Ansible which module to use, in this case, shell, and -a passes the actual shell command, df-h, to check this space. Just like that, you have run a command across all your servers simultaneously, fast and simple. So let's install Ansible on our master server. To do that, you're going to connect using our Visual Studio Code, our IDE, and we're just going to check how to install Ansible, okay? Let's say that you have no idea about how to install Ansible, okay? So let's check first if Ansible is installed or not on our server. It's not. We're going to use a AI tool named Claude.ai in order to see how to install the latest core version for Ansible on the Alma Linux server. I want to share that with you because Ansible AI tool are essential these days. So every tech has to know how to use AI tool to make some quick search and so on. So this is a particularity of this channel. I'm going to learn you a couple of things about how to use AI tool as well to make some fast search and get your work done. Okay. So we're going to start with DNF install eplay release, and after this step, we're going to copy the next command that Claude has provided us, which is sudo dnf install ansible -core. And this command is going to install the last version of Ansible. We're going to do Y for yes, and you're going to see that we have our Ansible installed when we are verifying with Ansible -- version after that, okay? So you can see the specification if you want to use Python pipe to install, if you want to use Git repository and so on. So you can ask to have also references for all the stuff that you are asking to AI tools in order to read more and so on. So that depends on you. So right now, when I'm doing Ansible -- version, you can see that I have core 2.16.3, which should be the last version of Ansible right now on December 2024 when I'm creating this episode. So let's do a pre-roll directory in order to see where we are, and we're going to move right now in our home directory, okay, where we have our yarn Ansible tutorial that we have created before, clone it from our Git repository, okay? So we're going to cd that yarn Ansible tutorial repository in local. And now let's configure our first inventory file. Inventory file is also our host file, okay? So it's the same one. If you heard about host file in Ansible, you have to know that Ansible host file is also called inventory file. So let's move. Once we have cd this file, when I have listing it, you can see that we have only our readme.md file, okay? So right now I'm going to create my inventory file in local, okay? So I'm going to use vim command in order to create my inventory file on my repository locally, and I'm going to add here all my my IPs, my target IPs address, okay? So I'm going to use my hostname -i on my container server in order to get the IP address, and just copy and paste inside my inventory file in order to make them accessible using my Ansible command. So you can say that my IP address for my container have changed. That's because I have to reboot my server, my master server. That's why my IP has changed, mainly for Docker, but the one of Alma Linux is still the same. So I'm just going to copy it and add it right there. So I'm talking about it just for people that started this theory from the first episode. We are on episode 4 right now. So if you didn't watch the previous episodes, let's check them in order to make sure that you understand everything. So right now you can see that we have our inventory file. Okay. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you how the thing works. Okay. So we're going to update our repository on GitHub site as well. Git status can show us that we have one modification, inventory in red. So I'm going to run the different command git add, and after that you can see that I've added it, and I'm going to make my git commit comment -m and provide a note about it. So I'm going to say in comment that my first update inventory file, because after rebooting my system, I had to modify my inventory on back off. So that's why I'm saying my first update of my inventory file. So when I go to move on GitHub site, you're going to see that I've deleted the previous inventory that I did on back off. So that's why now I have my first update of my inventory file. Okay, yeah, because my IPs for my container have changed. So I'm going to do git push. Finally, I already explained how we proceed to work with GitHub in order to share our code, in order to make some kind of increment backup when we are working in the previous video. So let's check that one if you didn't see it. I've explained everything over there. So you can see that now I have my inventory file with my new IPs updated. Okay, and if I'm moving, you can see that I have there first update of my inventory file. If I click on this one, you can see that I have deleted the previous one, and you can see everything that I've changed inside. Okay, so that's a little bit how we are working. We're gonna have with Git all our increment backup on GitHub site, and we should be able to work in collaboration with some software developer and so on. So I absolutely want you to take advantage of that GitHub version control tool. So I'm going to talk about it every time in this series in order to make you familiar with it. Okay, so once I do that, we're going to move on the next step. I'm going to use locate command in order to locate my Ansible key. Let's say that you forget the path for Ansible key. So locate command is a powerful command that you are using nowadays. You don't have to you don't need to use find command anymore. Just install locate command using yum plocate or apt mlocate, depending on your flavor on Linux, and you're gonna have it done. So I can see my key, my path key over there. I'm just going to run my first ad hoc command, Ansible all dash k -5 slash. I'm providing my key path -I. I list my inventory -m. I provide the module ping that I'm going to use, and you can see we have ping pong, and ping pong and ping pong for my 3 servers, for my 3 target servers. So that's perfect. That means that our Ansible is working perfectly with our Ansible key that we have created in our episode number 2. You can move on that episode in order to learn how to create a Ansible key to access your target server. Now let's configure our first Ansible config file. So our Ansible config file is the file that we're going to use in order to provide the necessary information, the necessary detail, and avoid us to write a lot when we are using our ad hoc command. Okay, so for that, what we're going to do is we're going to call this as a group default, okay, in our Ansible config file. And as default configuration, we're going to provide the name of our inventory file, which is inventory in local repository. So I'm going a little bit slowly in order to make sure that you understand perfectly. And also, we're going to provide the path key, okay? Our secure SSH key. What is the path for that private SSH key on our server? So we're going to provide it as well. You remember that we used it when we were running the ad hoc command, okay? So right there, I'm just going to provide the path, which is in my home directory in the .ssh folder, and I'm going to provide the name of my key, Ansible. When I'm done with that, I'm just going to register my, I'm going to update my file, my Ansible config file, using the escape key, colon, and WQ, and finally exclamation sign, okay? So I've talked a lot about how to handle your script, how to mastering your script in my previous series on bash scripting. You can move on that series as well and learn to be a master with bash scripting. So right there, when I'm listing, you can see that I have Ansible's config file, inventory file, and readme file. I'm going to run the command again, but now I'm taking out everything about, you know, I've taken out my path and my inventory for my my different options. Okay, so there is no more path, and I can move also that key option. So I can run it directly using Ansible all -module ping, and you're going to see that everything going to work directly. You see, I have my same ping pong with a shorter line of command. You see, so that's a little bit how Ansible config file gonna help us. Okay, so right now I'm gonna move in etc directory in order to show you all the Ansible file that get installed automatically on my server once I've installed Ansible. So I have an Ansible config file as well. Host is a inventory file as well. So I also have roles that we're going to talk about later in this series. So I just want to make sure that you understand that you're going to have it, you're going to always have it in that etc directory. But when I'm running a command locally in my repository, is the parameter that I got in my repository that going to be the first one executed by my system. Okay, so that's a little bit why I've created that one and make something customized for my repository and so on. So right now we're going to try to run something else. Okay, so I'm going to try to check the OS version that I have, the OS information that I have on all my target server using Ansible command. So I'm doing Ansible all -m using the shell -a, and I'm going to run the command cat/etc release. You know that command, right? This is the command that we are using in order to check what OS we are using on our server. And you're going to see as a magic, I'm going to have an output on my 3 servers. You see? So even if I have 5 servers, I can have the output for the 5 server using that only line of command. So that's why Ansible is just powerful, and it's something that you have to know. Ad Hoc command is powerful. It's not that it's not powerful than playbook, but it's doing some awesome stuff already. You see? So right now we're going to move on the next step. Okay, we're going to try to discover how we can use Ad Hoc command in order to gather some information on our server. Okay, so we're going to use Ansible all --list host first. This command going to list us all the server that we got on our inventory. You see, and after that we're going to use another command to check all the information about our servers. Maybe in order to run some troubleshooting, it can be helpful to proceed it. So that command is the gather fact module option. So let's see it. So for that, I'm running Ansible all -m gather facts. Then when I'm validated, you can see all the information about my different server. Okay, so there is a lot of information. Okay, so this one can be helpful if you want to troubleshooting, check some inode ID, some specific information as well about your server. If I want to use it efficiently, I can use the more command, so I can move one page after one. So using the space key, you see. So you can see I have a lot of information that can be helpful in order to troubleshoot. Okay, the name server, the size, and so on. So if I want, let's say that I want to use that command in order to get information on a specific target server, I'm going to use the option --limit and provide the IP address for the server that I want to look on. So that's how you can specify a command. Okay, that's how you can specify a server in order to get information using the gather fact module. Okay, so it's just awesome. There you go. So you can see Ansible virtualization tech host, Ansible virtualization type Docker. So you have a lot of information, but right now only for the one that I've specified. So that's a little bit how the dash limit option is working. You can see Ansible architecture, BIOS date, Ansible BIOS vendor is Linode. You can see a lot and a lot and a lot, okay? Boot image, you can see you have information about boot image. So that's a little bit it about gather facts. So I would like to show you how we can use Ansible ad hoc module on that way as well, okay? So the shell that you are using is bin batch. So the user that launch the comment is root. So a lot of things that you can use in order to troubleshoot some issue with your target server, okay? So right now we're going to try something else, okay? Right now we're going to try something else. At the end of this video, I'm going to provide you the link to access the documentation on Ad Hoc Command on Ansible documentation website. So now I'm listing once again my repository file, and you can see my different you can see all the file that I have right now. So right now we're going to update our repository on GitHub since we have added Ansible config. So I'm running the git add command. Git status, you can see that I've updated, and I'm going to run my git commit, provide detail about my Ansible config file that I've created using the -m option or module. It's my first version of Ansible config file. It's just awesome. After that, I'm just going to proceed with git push in order to have it online. So I'm still repeating it almost after each step right now, just to make you familiar with how Git is working. On our next episode, I'm going to do it once at the end. Okay? So you can see if I reload my page, you can see that I have Ansible.cfg that is existing right now. It's just awesome. And when I click inside, you can see everything that I have provided, defaults, group, and so on. So we're going to move on more practice with Ad Hoc Command. I'm going to show you how we can group my server and use the group option name in order to apply a command on a specific group. So it's really useful. We're going to talk more about it in our playbook, but it's already possible to make some application with Ad Hoc Command as well. So I'm going to divide my target server in two groups. The first group going to be my container server, and the second one going to be my Linode server, which is the IMA Linux 9.41. So I'm just going to specify it using this structure. And I will register, I will update it. And after that, I'm going to use the group name in order to apply the ping module that we did before, that we have used before, okay? So I've carried just to show you once again. And let's see what we're going to have right now. and I will register, I will update it, and after that I'm gonna use the group name in order to apply the ping module that we did before, that we have used before. Okay, so I've cut it just to show you once again, and let's see what we're going to have right now. Ansible, I'm going to specify the group name container server first, or let's say Linode server first. And you see, Ansible Ansible targeted only the Linode server, since I specified the group Linode server. If I'm specifying right now the group container server, you're going to see that Ansible going to target the both that we have in our container server group. So in this episode, we have learned how we can use Ad Hoc Command in order to release magic tasks on our target server. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment if you have some question, and make sure to subscribe because we're going to move forward in this magic with Ansible, with playbook, in our next video. See you. Thank you.